We got to move on though, because we need to have our argument. Are you ready?
What do you mean our argument?
Well, you know exactly what I mean.
All right. We're talking about WSUS. All right. That seems to be the hot topic as of late, right? The WSUS is deprecated, but it is the softest deprecation that's ever existed.
You say that. Okay, full disclosure, Josh is spicy about this. Don't say you're not. He's going to say he isn't, but we have had so many arguments about this week. We have.
Yeah. And it's not spicy about the subject, it's spicy about the verbiage. Like, just choose your words carefully.
No, I'm not going to. We're going to fight.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Let's fight it out.
All right. Set it up here, like, for the audience. What are we talking about? WSUS is deprecated. That's what Microsoft says. And when they say this, hey, we're not going to put out updates for WSUS itself.
Or they're not going to put up updates. They're not going to support it. They're not going to take any more feature requests. Like, they are actively pushing people to other.
But also the updates. But also the updates will still flow in, and you can still use it.
Yeah, you can still use it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And when was the last time they added an update to WSUS? Other than a security update or a feature? Probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just going to continue to act like it is.
Everyone's like, they were taking feature requests?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, so nothing's really changed. That's why I'm calling it the softest deprecation
They were just
ever.
actively ignoring them.
Yeah, it was like you just threw it into the, like, black hole.
Yeah, so I'm actually really interested. I'm seeing some chatter, but who is using it currently? So I am me. I am Hermione. So I learned all about it this week. And this is funny. Josh and I are switching roles this week because I haven't used it in my professional career, but oh my gosh, it is so right up my alley. It looks like something I would freaking love. The level of control, the level of granularity. Yes, me. It looks like something I would absolutely enjoy.
Yeah.
It also looks like a lot of work to set up.
It is.
It really does.
It's a large maintenance task. But if you need it, you need it.
Yeah.
And there are very probably specific circumstances in which you need WSUS.
Yeah. So if you're a large organization, if you're on-prem, if you enjoy making groups, if you need to make those groups, if you need to be very specific in your computer grouping. And the thing that kind of annoyed me, and I want to hear people's thoughts, you can't use the security groups that you already have set up from Active Directory. That's kind of annoying that you have to go in the console and make your own groups.
Yep.
And are we playing Lord of the Rings? Because the naming kind of made me laugh, by the way. That was funny.
Yep.
Why do I have to make my own groups?
Yep.
I wanted to know the answer to that.
Well, okay.
I'm redoing work.
WSUS sits between Windows Update and your devices, right? And it's the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
So if you need a gatekeeper, if you need to say, I want this update, but not this one, and approve it to this machine, but not that one.
Well, and I think it's meant to be a time saver. So let's start at the beginning. In case they haven't used it, okay? Because we promise to have an honest conversation.
Yep.
We're not going to lie to anybody. So in your environment, you are going to pick a server. So let's say I want my print server to be my WSUS server. I'm not going to say anything else. WSUS.
That's fine.
Okay. My print server is now my WSUS server. I go into Server Manager and I assign the role of WSUS server. Okay. Now it's my upstream server. I'm doing quote marks. I don't know why I'm doing quote marks.
I don't know either because that's what it is.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm telling, I'm going to make a group policy. I'm going to tell every computer in my environment, or the computers that I choose.
Yep.
I'm going to make a group policy. I'm going to say, this is a behavior I want you guys to do.
Yep.
Whether I want to delay the updates.
You will look at this upstream server. You will not look at.
That's right. Well, I'm gonna do a couple. I'm gonna say, I want you guys to wait a week because you're my production computers, and this is the behavior you're going to have as far as updates are.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna say, hey, you guys, go to the print server, your WSUS server, and get your updates from here.
Yep.
So I have to take a couple steps. It's not super simple. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's the premise, right?
Yes.
And then I'm going to go to the synchronicity step where I'm going to pull all the updates from Microsoft to my WSUS server.
Yeah. Also have it help you if you select drivers.
That's right. Okay, so I need a lot of space, right? I need 500 gigs probably. That's probably typical. So
sure, at least.
At least. Okay. That's the back work I have to do.
Yep.
Okay. Did I cover it?
You got it.
Okay.
And now your machines are looking for WSUS, and you get it going, and you say, hey, this update's allowed. This one's not allowed.
That's right.
And one of the use cases is, hey, if you know an update is breaking things in your environment, because you control the upstream server, you can disallow it.
You can exclude it. There's a
can-
lot of exclusionary criteria that you can
Yes.
do, and you can do it for specific computer groups.
And
Okay.
that's where the power of WSUS kind of is,
Yes.
right? It's not necessarily the getting machines updated.
Yes.
It's the level of control. That's what that product does.
Yes. The
Right?
control.
So trying to replace that control is really hard.
Yeah.
Now let's say that you don't need that level of control.
Yeah.
You actually don't care.
Yeah.
Like in my environment, I actually don't care that much. What I'd rather have is I'd rather just have a pilot group of machines and a delayed group or everybody else group of machines, and I want them to be updated.
Yeah.
And I don't really care if KB 1234 is installed. I just want them to be up to date.
Yeah. So, okay. And
That's where I can go in and I can say, I can replace this functionality
Yeah.
with something like a Connect.
So we put together a little compare and contrast WSUS
Yep.
and Connect. You ready?
Yep.
I'm going to read it to you.
Oh, you actually have it printed.
I printed it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
All right, yep.
And Josh is we're gonna fight about it. Okay. So marketing kind of asked us compare the two, and we said, okay, we're gonna do it, but we're gonna be totally honest. We're not gonna make anything up. So WSUS is free, kind of.
Kind of.
There's no licensing, but it's
No specific licensing, but there's
yeah.
Windows licensing in CALs. So it's
There
it's
is,
there.
and actually, I have a paper with all the licensing, but we're not going to really get that deep. But you heard there's a lot of setup, so
Yep.
there's labor costs involved for on-prem, complex setup and maintenance.
Agree.
The flexibility, the granularity doesn't work. Well, it does, but hybrid. We're talking mostly for on-prem, right?
It works. Like you
Okay.
got to be able to communicate with that machine
Yeah.
online.
Centralized management. Okay, PDQ Connect, cloud-based.
Yep.
Subscription fee. There's a cost. We're not
Sure.
going to lie. There's
Yep.
a cost, right? Faster deployment.
Yep.
Especially for larger environments. And then, so choosing the right solution. Smaller organizations. PDQ Connect might be a good option because it's super easy.
Well, I think the biggest choice here is you don't need the granularity.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
arguably, if you take signals from Microsoft, if you look at Windows Update for Business, if you look for AutoPatch, that level of granularity is just going away.
Yeah.
Like the way that Microsoft is starting to deliver the operating system is much more in line with any Linux distro or Mac OS. Like
Yeah,
I know that
for
might
sure.
be controversial, but that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't need that same level of granularity that you used to need.
Yes. So, okay, if we're
And
going to
like
use
trying to do that, you're actually swimming against the stream and your life's probably going to get harder.
if we're going to use Connect, it seems like we both kind of agree you need to use the PS Windows update to mimic the behavior as much as you can. We're not doing apples to apples, but we're going to try to mimic it, right?
What
So
we're
how do
going
we
to
do
mimic
that?
here and show you, like, if your goal is updated machines and you want an update ring like behavior, here's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You're going to go into Connect and you're going to create a static group.
Yep. Okay, static group, not dynamic.
You can do a dynamic group if you want.
Okay.
I did a static group and I picked a couple machines.
Yep.
All right. Let's see if I can drive this thing, right?
Let's look at our automations.
All right. And I picked a static group, right? And I called it our super secret testers.
Super secret testers.
Right.
I
And
like
it's a
the
static
spelling.
group and it's like 2 machines.
Mhm.
So I went in there and that's my group. And what's going to happen now is I'm going to run the PS Windows Update package. I'm going to come back one. I'm going to show that there's a bunch of different ones you can do.
Yep, there's 6 actually.
Right.
6
There's
packages.
like all of the updates, there's critical and security, there's drivers, and then there's feature upgrades.
Yep.
So you don't need to do them all.
Yep.
But pick the ones in the order that you want, right? So maybe you do test drivers daily, maybe you test drivers weekly for pilot group. Go and mess with the settings and schedule you want. And then you just run them offset, right? So you can see that I've got, super secret computers daily and then bi-weekly for all computers after that. Right. So then I have a time to check stuff. If something happens to my daily machines and I'm like, oh, that seems funny, I can come in here and then I can toggle off the ones for all computers because I know that something's going to break.
Right, don't test in production.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right. But then I can just generally leave these things on and know that bi-weekly my machines are going to get updates. And the only action, fix action I have to take is if something breaks and I
Right.
know it's related to a Windows update.
Right.
So that's how you can get similar functionality if your goal is just patch my machines.
Right. And you maybe don't need that level of security
Yeah.
that you can get with us.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes sense.
So I guess that's our conversation right around WSUS. Can you directly replace it? No, but if you're looking for keeping machines up to date, then yes.
Yeah.
A
Can you get
little
close?
more nuanced than
Yeah.
just a yes, no.
Okay. I love it. All right.
Curious if that resonates though with the chat.
Yeah.
Like,
What is? Where you guys kind of went quiet. So tell us your thought,
All right.
because we want to be honest and have an honest conversation.
Thanks for watching this segment from PDQ Live. If you like this, you'll love the full show. Check it out every Thursday at 10 a.m. Mountain. Oh, and like and subscribe, please.